Evening all. Do we have apologies from anyone, Steve?
No, I don't think we do.
Right. We all know where the fire exits are, over there, behind us. If in doubt, run. There are no alarm practices scheduled for this evening. Right. Declarations of interest. Does anyone have any interest to declare? No, neither do I. Public participation, we have, I'm not sure. Do you count as members of the public? Please don't heckle. I've got a nervous disposition. I can't stand it. Okay, moving on. Chairs updates. Right. Hallmaster, the new booking system, as I understand matters, is now handling all the bookings, but it is not handling the receipt of money. Am I open to correction there?
I've got some news hot off the press this week.
Wonderful.
So we've been having these long-standing issues trying to get PayPal approved because of their highly complicated internal working practices. We've had confirmation this week that our latest letter of authorization has been accepted. So we think we've cleared that hurdle and got everything done now. So it would just be a case of Mike getting it sorted out with Hallmaster, and then we should be able to start actually taking
what's the time scale for that?
I don't know. I haven't spoken to him about it yet, but he's here this evening, so I hope to speak to him.
Okay, all right.
I'll ask a question.
Yes.
Does that mean people can only pay through PayPal, or are there options?
No. So basically, the PayPal option will add the ability to make a payment at the time of booking directly on Hallmaster. What happens at the moment is you can request a booking on Hallmaster, and then we request payment in advance of that booking taking place. So that's the change that's already been instigated, and that can be done by transfer through internet banking.
Can people use other payment arrangements like credit cards?
I don't know about credit cards. I'd have to check that. I mean, the vast majority of our sort of regular hall bookers are doing it by bank transfer, so that will probably continue anyway because they've got it's more for your kind of one-off booking who would come on and has the option then to make payment up front there and then they'd be able to use PayPal to do that.
I wouldn't want all the cuts to go to PayPal.
Okay. Moving on, Insignis is at last live, and at the end of May, I see we have £300,000 on deposit with them. What stops us putting more?
Is that a question?
Yes, it is a question for you. Sorry, Steve.
Yeah, so we've got I haven't got the figures to hand, but we've got a restriction in the amount we can transfer per day, I think it is at the moment. So I think Rachel's working through that process at the moment to make sure that the monies get transferred accordingly.
Okay, all right. We've had informal discussions about forecasting, and the target to introduce forecasting would be on a quarterly basis, starting with the June quarter. Rachel and Steve have agreed that between them, and it will be interesting to see what difference that makes to the way we treat our organisation. Next one, the CIL overpayment claim from North Somerset. We have had some legal advice from Alka, was it not? Which says that North Somerset might be on dodgy ground.
Yes, so
we are justified in fighting their claim at this stage.
Is it worth giving everyone a bit more explanation and background about what's happened?
What happened there? Yes, we received some CIL money in respect over a period of time, I'm not sure quite how much, which related to development at the Marina Gardens. The property subsequently changed its classification, and this reduced the amount of CIL payment that was due. So North Somerset want it back. The snag is that we've already spent it.
This happened 5 years ago, also for some context.
Yeah. The amount involved is 60-something thousand pounds. 61. I'll tell you what. You won't say. Yep. Has there been any further news on that since the Alka people reported?
Well, I was only going to say we've done a kind of initial response back to North Somerset to request further information. and they've sent a holding reply to that. So there's a number of things that we've asked for, and we'll await what their reply is. And in the meantime, we obviously sought advice from Alka, and they've suggested that it would be worthwhile potentially seeking further legal advice. So yeah, I don't know if that's something that.
Can I just, I had a chat with Steve. I think it would be useful for us to, in the nicest possible way, to instruct Steve to write back to North Somerset and say none of the options that he provided are suitable for us. Probably the wrong word, but
Acceptable.
acceptable to us. And we are taking legal advice, and the council has asked the clerk to, to basically exhaust the process of obtaining legal advice, so that we can go
We
back
need a
and
formal minute to that effect.
I think we should do, yeah. I think we, yeah, because we don't want North Somerset putting pressure on Steve. So we'll just say the council is still basically, looking at the legal
And should this
aspects.
be a minute from the full council or from this committee?
I'm happy with either. I'm happy to take it at the full council if we can do that. Any preference, Steve? Or?
Might be better to have it at full
Yeah,
council.
you're right. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay.
We'll do it then.
Can we deal with that in this evening's meeting? It won't be on the agenda.
I think we can probably add that under chairman update.
I'll do a chairman's update, and we can make just a quick resolution for Steve to write in. I think it's perfectly fine.
Okay, right. That concludes the news from me. Oh, except to note that I have received the May accounts as of yesterday, and we are showing, as expected, continuing significant surpluses. We are down to our last £2 million in the bank. Don't spend it all at once, please. Oh. Right. Moving on, minutes of the last meeting. Has everyone seen them? Does anyone have any issues they want to raise? In which case, can I have a proposer and a seconder? All? I'll second. All in favour? Thank you. Right. We've now got a long list of documents of transactions for your review. I do not have any queries on the individual transactions. Does anyone have any queries they wish to raise? David.
Thanks, John. It's in relation to the consolidated bank, G, 7G, the consolidated bank reconciliation, the 31st of March. And I noticed that we've got over £600,000 banked with Lloyds as of then. Given that we're now moving to Insignis to kind of spread the risk across different banks, I think we should move as quickly as possible to ensure we haven't got 600,000 sitting in a single bank.
We do have a problem with Lloyds Bank. All of the people who are currently on the bank mandate are no longer councillors, and presumably they are therefore no longer authorised to commit the council or to act on its behalf. This is a big problem.
Sorry, this is a problem that just relates to closing the account, or does this mean we can't actually move any money out of the account?
Both, as far as I know, because the only people on the mandate are the people concerned.
I didn't realise it was the second. I thought it was just closing the damned account was a problem. So.
I would like to know whether it's possible to have a council minute authorising the closure of all the accounts. Whether Lloyds would actually accept that.
Or just is that closure or transfer or both?
Closure. They do not offer particularly good service, and the amount we have on deposit is attracting interest at a trivial rate of interest. 0.8%, I think. We could get nearly 4% elsewhere. Mike.
Does closure involve having to contact the people that you're referring to who are no longer councillors, and are they still eligible to be able to sign on behalf of the council? Presumably not.
They can't sign on behalf of the council because they are no longer councillors.
Quite. So does that not?
This gives us a problem. This is why we're thinking in terms of a single resolution from full council,
I see.
asking the bank to treat that as authority.
Okay.
Yeah,
Whether the bank will, I don't know.
basically, I spent about 45 minutes on the phone with them a few weeks ago, explaining the situation, and then just went round and round in circles, passed
really?
between 4 departments, going nowhere, which is exactly the same service when we did have a Lloyds Bank. We went in there and we had the same problem 4 years ago. So it took months just to change a signatory. It's just ridiculous. So we just don't want anything to do with them, but we need to get our money out. So do you want to cover this in the full council as well?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Okay.
For 600,000 quid, I think it's worth it.
Definitely. I mean, okay. I mean, we're in a nonsensical position because I could get 2 of the previous signatories to sign it, and that will probably tick their boxes, will it?
I was going to suggest a sort of multi-pronged approach to this. So I think it'd be useful to get authorization from the signatories, obviously not on behalf of the council, but that confirming they are no longer and give their authority, and then also a resolution by council to make that point and affirm that we have authorization to make those changes.
Sounds good to me.
I was trying to think about this creatively. Would it not be possible for the full council just to sanction that we can use those signatories for the closure of the accounts? And then we don't have to bother Lloyds, we just get their signatures and close them.
I mean, there's no risk associated here because we would be composing the letter and they would be, authorizing what we want them to authorize.
Yeah, but what I mean is.
No, so I'm agreeing.
Oh,
with
you're
what you're
agreeing,
saying.
yeah.
Because you're in
Wouldn't that
control
be a
of.
simpler process?
I would suggest that alongside a council resolution, and then we can make sure the wording of that letter is correct.
No, what I'm suggesting is sidestepping, i.e. using the existing signatories under the authority of the council just to get the accounts closed.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I think that's probably the best thing, because having dealt with them, you don't want to raise the spectre of these people, oh, they're not actually qualified to sign it, because then that'll end up with Lloyds going into another bureaucratic tailspin probably. So you're right, the best thing to do is to authorize the council to authorize the two people to sign on our behalf. So we can do that, can't we?
And then forget all the ins and outs.
Yeah, I would just do that, because having worked with lots of bureaucratic organisations, you don't want to sort of poke the bear, really, do you? You just want to go, here's the 2 signatures, tick your box, close our account. Thank you very much.
And we've covered ourselves by having it under the council's mandate.
Yeah. Okay.
David.
Great that it's being addressed. Can I just ask that it's on the agenda for the next council meeting in July? Because we're talking about big sums of money and those sort of interest rates you're talking about, John. It's a waste.
Yes,
What's something we're going to sort it out at this council meeting in
I hope so.
half an hour. So
I think the other lesson for us as a council is that we need to make sure that with a change in council, we're always alerted to the fact that some signatories may be moving on, so we're not so the council as a whole isn't blindsided by councillors who are signatories no longer being councillors with the next council. So it's maybe something for the RFO to look at and sure we've got something in place.
Arguably, we should have enough officers of the council on the bank mandate to enable us.
we've changed the process. We've added officers so that we won't have this situation again. So it won't be reliant on councillors. It's officers. Obviously, when officers leave, they need to be replaced. But that's obviously something that can be done. All right. Is Rachel on the call, by the way, or not?
She's got intermittent sort of internet, so she's available for me to message.
Okay, because she was going to, she corresponded with me earlier, but she sent me a letter with the wrong 2 signatories on it. I need, one of them. So anyway, she needs to send me the right names, and I'll go and speak to them tomorrow, so and get their signatures.
Okay. Any queries on items 7A, B and C in the transaction list? Mike?
Yes, could you just remind me, please, how the item C is more than double the previous 2 months
Item C,
on the finance update list?
yeah, I'm just trying to look at
I appreciate that you did ask us to raise these issues beforehand, and apologies for not having done so. I don't have the papers in front of me.
I found a couple which come to a few hundred.
Just looking at it briefly, Mike, I think it concludes things like the youth centre grant for 38,000.
I'm glad you
it-
can see it.
28,000 for citizens advice. So it's some of those big block amounts of money that go out
The
once a year.
SLAs, yeah.
NDCT 15,000. So there's about 80,000 there that goes to those three organisations.
There's the answer, isn't it? Thank you.
That's the Unity Bank account. I found it at last. Yes, you're right. It's once, and its payments should go through once a year. All the grants, the major grants go through. All right. Okay. If we're happy with A, B, and C, we have the detailed income and expenditure account for April, which does show a reassuring surplus of about £75,000. There are a few corrections to be dealt with in that, which reduce the total effectively to about £35,000, and they are dealt with in the May accounts. The main reason for the surplus is simply that expenditure on devolution related matters is so slow. It's just not happening, basically. Also, the planned expenditure on the marina railings and Bottolino's roadway has not happened yet. So, excuse me. But we will be catching up later in the year, I'm sure. We also have the internal auditor's report and AGAR certificate. The internal auditor's report is notable for raising no issues of substance that we weren't already aware of. They have two recommendations, one regarding the collection of old bad debts, which is now trivial. The other relates to diversifying our monies on deposit. And they have actually made a mistake there insofar as they refer to us losing the benefit of the financial services protection, which in fact does not apply to our circumstances anyway. We therefore need a correction entered into the AGAR report, but other than that, I'm happy with it. David?
I was just going to say, should we have a vote of thanks for Rachel and yourself?
Yes,
for
I think a vote of
navigating
thanks
through
to
that?
Rachel for keeping everything in good order is certainly called for. Can I have a proposer and a seconder? I'll propose. Thank you, David. Seconded. Right. All in favour? Yes. Sorry, I forget that little bit.
John,
Yes.
as an aside, I seem to recall in a previous meeting, we discussed this situation with bad debts, and particularly in relation to the hall of this, the hire of this hall. And one thing that came forward from that was the fact that the new system of booking, people were having to make an advance payment, a down payment. Is that now definitely the situation? Are bad debts now no longer likely to occur?
My understanding is that they should be booking in advance, yes. Unless there's special dispensation authorised by Steve or by the terms of a grant.
Yeah, it's certainly something that we recommended, wasn't it, that a deposit had to be paid?
Yes, I can confirm that all of the requests for payment are now going out in advance of the booking rather than being submitted afterwards. That we've now fully transitioned to that approach.
Because I think I'm right in saying that some of the bad debts were written off, weren't they?
The amounts written off were no more than a couple of £100.
Yeah.
Actually, then I can just confirm that I tried booking and it is the case. Okay.
So good.
Test case, good.
Right. We also have the AGAR report, the AGAR 1A certificate, which basically summarises our accounts for the year. This has been prepared by Rachel and checked by the internal auditors. Does anyone have any issues to raise on that? No? Okay. So we have the accounts for the financial year 25-26 included in the pack. Does anyone have any queries on those? No? Good. I think, can we have a block approval of all this lot at the end? Can we need to read it? Okay. Right.
You can do the
The consolidated bank reconciliation we have already discussed. And the recommendation receiving the AGAR report and the government accountability report. The notice of public rights has been included. Does anyone have any issues in connection with that? Nope.
Do people know what it is? So the public have the right to have a look over our accounts. So I think we have to produce. I don't know, do we have to still do it on paper or a copy? But anyway,
I have no idea. It
they're-
seems to be a waste of an awful lot of paper.
yeah, they're officially available for members of the public to come in and scrutinise, which is
And
kind of
I can also say, because I looked at the notice board outside.
Do we know whether anyone does?
I've not heard of anyone doing.
I know of a couple of people in the past who have done so. Yeah.
Okay. We have
It wasn't me, by the way.
a conflict of interest report with BDO, the external auditors. A declaration has to be signed. Is anyone aware of any conflicts of interest? I am not. No. And finally, we have a report on bad debt recommendations. Which I'm trying to find, which results in total debt of £32 to be written off as we cannot contact the hirer. He's obviously emigrated to New Zealand or some such place. Right. Okay, so the recommendations are that we approve the lists of payments totaling 78,571, 78,483 and 180,936. That we note the detailed income and expenditure account for April. That the internal auditor's report and internal audit certificate be received and recommended for approval by full council. That the accounts for the year 25-26 be received and recommended for approval by full council. That the consolidated bank reconciliation as at March 26 be received and recommended for approval by full council. Likewise, the AGAR 25-26 report be received and sections 1 and 2 be recommended for approval by council. That the notice of public rights be received and the period be recommended for approval by full council. That the conflict of interest declaration be received and signed, that the bad debt write-off report be received and the proposed write-off be recommended for approval. Right. Can I have a proposal for that lot, please? Thank you, David. Seconded. Thank you, Mike. All those in favour? Right, and that's the end of the detailed number crunching. We move on to the staffing reorganisation. Does this count as confidential business, by the way? No. Right, good. Right. I'm looking for my copy of it, which I've lost. Oh, here we go, section 8. Right, this is a report from Steve. Would you like to take us through the key points of it?
Yeah, just a very quick overview. So, yeah, as confirmed, no confidential or personal information included. This is just a report back following the recent reorganisation. There was a commitment to provide an update at this meeting. The recent reorganisation has now completed, and individual one-to-one consultation meetings were held with all staff, and there was an opportunity for follow-up meetings. So that consultation closed on the 24th of April. There were no, again, just to underline, there were no redundancies proposed or implemented, and the final organisational chart has now been issued to staff and to members. Obviously, the fundamental points of that reorganisation were about increasing capacity, particularly in line with devolution, and making sure we're fully prepared for that. And including the creation of new roles that we are currently recruiting to. So, and hot off the press, as I confirmed yesterday, so we have now appointed a new deputy clerk who will be starting in early September. And we have more interviews. So on Monday, we've got interviews for the Parks and Green Space Officer, and the following week, we've got interviews for the Customer Services and Admin Team Leader. Yeah, I think that's probably kind of an overview of where we've got to. There was a clarification point because there was previously a budget allocated for support from Evergreen to assist with the recruitment. But following that, under those delegated powers, we actually utilised LGRC, who we were able to get a much better price for across the 3 roles within the approved financial parameters that were agreed. Yeah, so I think that's probably, unless there's any kind of specific questions off the back of that.
In which case, the report is there to be noted, so no resolution is necessary. No. Wow, we're down to date of next meeting. Wednesday, the 17th of September. I trust everyone's got that date engraved on their hearts. Thank you very much, everybody. I declare the meeting closed.